Hello naughty steppers, I hope you are all well. It's a beautiful day here today in London, but not so beautiful that I can't give you a fresh review on the Nawtystep channel. Because today I'm going to be talking to you about the new Shift Mojo EP released on Nawtystep Records, the Observer Axiom. Now before I get into analysing this one, I'm going to give a massive shout out to Sam Lawrence, owner of the recently formed UUEIRD record label, who sent me this EP a few weeks prior to its release. And this is weird spelt with two U's and not a W, so it's got its own little take on that word to make it proper unique. And be sure to check out UUEIRD for some pretty underground bass heavy tunes. A good place to start would be with their The Source Volume 1 compilation, which was released at the end of last year. The day after Christmas, in fact. Ho, 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 Merry Boxing Day. And yeah, Shift Mojo is one of the artists managed by Sam and who is releasing this EP on Nawtystep Records, who are connected with Beard Thug, which is how Sam contacted me through my review of that EP at the start of this year. So yeah, shout out to all of those guys. I'll link all of the relevant stuff of theirs in the description box down below. But yes, on with the review, and it's fair to say that I had a decent idea of what to expect coming into this EP, having listened to a few Shift Mojo projects from the past in preparation for making this review. Quietly vibrant music with a bit of an underwater aesthetic and an appropriate mix of brighter sounds and then grislier stuff too. Not two approaches that one would usually put together, but which work in quite a pleasant way with Shift Mojo's music. With its fair bit of intricacy, bringing together softly oozing sounds with a general punchiness to the percussion throughout. And I would definitely say that this latest EP doesn't fall short of any of those aforementioned characteristics in any way. Because the Observer Axiom is a similarly bubbly project, but with an outer worldly theme permeating these three tracks. The opening is a testament to this, a ritual-like sequence which instructs the audience to breathe in and breathe out. This introduction then proceeds to tell us that we are the universe and the energy, so there are some pretty strong spiritual vibes going on here. This extraterrestrial element is accessed further in the title track, which reminded me somewhat of Diplo's Set It Off with those brief fade notes bringing it into consciousness. And all the while there's just a nice collection of gurgles, squelches and droplet-like sounds in the background to give it that warm feeling, whilst establishing a heaviness to it absent in the other sounds, something that runs over from the opening track. But this spacey theme, however, reaches its heights with the third track, Knuckle Thruster, where the listener is taken through some sort of portal before an explosion of alien-like sounds skitter about and fly off in all directions. It's like a new species being spawned and hurrying, scuttling into any space that it can find. But whilst all of these songs paint their own pictures and take the listener on their own individual journeys, on a music basis alone there isn't too much to suggest that all of these sounds cohere. One realisation I returned to on several occasions with this EP was that the overlaying synths didn't fit too well over their underlying beats. For example, with the title track, the synths seemed to wind this way and that without any true direction. The interaction between the individual notes isn't enough to take it to the next level. This is also present, in my opinion, in the third and final track, where its overt musicality doesn't really add anything to the song overall. This ensures that there are points throughout the Observer Axiom where the rhythms aren't quite as noticeable. Because there are moments where everything slots into place really nicely. Like the way we are launched into this new world with You Are the Breath, and then dragged out and then launched back in again, setting the scene very well. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you, I promise. Or the brief moments of isolation in the title track at 1 minute 13 and 3 minutes 08. Or the shifts in tempo with Knuckle Thruster. These are points where the separate components are brought together expertly, but they are rare. The ideas and the theme permeate throughout this EP, providing a fantastic springboard from which to leap. But there isn't enough for me across these three tracks that really wows me. Having said all of this, one significant positive for me was the percussion, which, as with his past EP, Autonomous Defector, is very on point throughout. Punchy, purposeful, and with a real direction to it from start to finish. And for all I know, this lack of reaching further with the music could have been exactly what Shift Mojo intended for this EP. Keeping it relatively mellow, not venturing too far, but just having some deep, underground tunes chugging along in their own way. These songs do not smack you in the face as much as provide space for contemplation of the more chilled approaches to heavy electronic music that we can get. If you are one to warm to quite mind-numbing, hypnotic and ambient styles of production, then this EP is undoubtedly for you, because it has that fuzziness whilst adhering to that vivid, outer-worldly theme. A nice combination overall. This EP doesn't try to sell you any one specific part of its makeup especially. More, it does its thing at some point off in the distance, allowing its components to conjure up something in whatever way they can. And in terms of a favourite from the Observer Axiom, I would have to go for the title track, which for me is the best collection of varying sounds. I really like the quirkiness of it and the subtle energy that it brings to the EP as a whole, what with it being the middle track as well. And honestly, I don't feel like I could give a recommendation for this one. It's pretty unique and nothing really springs to mind straight away in terms of similar sounding artists. But there were points where I was thinking it sounded a little bit similar to the underground dubstep producer Truth, so I suppose you could start by checking out his stuff and also some other artists on his deep, dark and dangerous record label. But yes, for listeners of that oozy yet intricate style of production, definitely check out this one. And so that is that for another review on the Nawtystep channel, guys. Thank you very much once again, and as always, for watching. Like this video, share it about, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your thoughts on the Observer Axiom. What did you guys make of it? And don't forget to like and follow Nawtystep across all social media. Everything linked, including the weird and that's dope stuff, in the description box down below. And as ever, if it's naughty, then you know. So keep it naughty, guys, and stay safe. And I shall see you in the next one. Peace out.